I would say it's probably irrigation goals. We are able to achieve different practices of irrigation, whether it be restricted or unrestricted goals. Try and optimize the treatment line from the previous line that we had, which we are achieving at the moment, and a better understanding of disinfection mechanisms inside the ponds, which will also help in improving pond systems. And yeah, that's about it. That natural systems are still viable compared to high-tech systems, which are very expensive. Natural systems are very easy to implement compared to high-tech systems, and they do not need high maintenance, they do not need specialized workers or anything like that. And there's still a lot of things to study in natural systems. So I think that what I learned is that natural systems are still very viable technology to be used for treating raw sewage. It does affect it, but since the project is for Africa and Southeast Asia, which I think sunlight is quite predominant in those areas, so that's why we are thinking more about this system for those areas. But obviously in North Europe or in Canada or Siberia or something like that, it's not viable, those type of systems. But yeah, it wouldn't be that much viable because of the sunlight, you're right. Next step would probably be defending the thesis, obviously, a holiday, and try and get work either in the teaching or capacitating other people in the area for wastewater treatment, and create awareness about wastewater treatment, so it won't be so taboo as it was before, where people will defecate wherever they want to, especially in developing countries and things like that. So I think that's probably the next steps for me, but definitely holiday first. Okay, so the pond systems are, well, in this case they're called maturation ponds. You've got three different types of ponds. You've got anaerobic ponds, which is ponds that do not have oxygen. They not use oxygen to convert, and those ponds are more to remove organic matter. You've got facultative ponds, which is, it's got two environments. It's got anaerobic at the bottom and you've got aerobic at the top. Also to remove organic matter and as well to remove pathogens. My ponds are much shallower. They're known as maturation ponds, and the main objective is to remove pathogens through natural mechanisms, sunlight, which is probably the most dominant way of removing. The question was again?
So what the water can be used for?
Oh, the water. So those ponds, as they remove pathogens, they can be used for different practices of irrigation, whether it be restricted or unrestricted irrigation through the rules of the World Health Organization. So you could use it for crops, for plants that grow further from the ground. You cannot spray it on the leaves, obviously, but dripping it near the roots and all that stuff. Probably lettuce farming, I think, what I read. So, but like I said, you cannot spray it on the leaves because it's not that good compared to the previous system that we had, which was more ponds in series. Because our main objective was to reduce the area to treat the wastewater. So, yeah, mainly for crops that grow away from the ground, which will be in developing countries. I'd say cornfields, I'd say wheat fields, which is the basic material for bread, for the basic food of those countries. So I think that's what it is.
That's very useful.
Yeah, I think so.